I think the resume is updated for all of you. If not, it will be updated. Only mention something that you can justify going ahead, and not something that you will feel stuck if it is asked at the time of interviews. And so, the most important element of a resume that I feel people feel stuck on is the certification part. So, let's say you have shown a certification in IB or Tally or Excel. Be prepared to answer everything revolving around that topic, even if it might or might not be relevant to your job, right? So let's say I'm being interviewed for a valuation profile only, but I have an experience in Tally. Let's say that the recruiter who is trying to interview me comes from a core accounting background and has worked with SAP, Tally, Taxman, etc. Or let's say he's a chartered accountant with an audit experience. He might just ask me, what in Tally have I done? That might not be relevant to the job, but that might be relevant for his interest in my profile. So this is yet another very important tip, that know each and everything in and out of who you are, and in and out of what you mention in your resume, starting from your profile summary to your qualifications and everything. Well, I see a lot of questions, and the most important question I'd like to answer now is post graduation mandatory to enter a field in finance? What do you think, guys? Have Has any one of you encountered a situation where graduates get an entry level in finance, or let's say only a post graduation is important, only CA is important, MBA is important? Well, this is a very subjective question to answer. I'll tell you why. Because if you're a graduate, right, and if you are in a good campus, let's say you're working, have got a chance to be a graduate from from Delhi University, from University of Calcutta, from University of any metropolitan city, which offers good placement opportunities. So my college, being in South Campus, also used to offer good ample amount of opportunities. So if you're a graduate, you might as well get into audit profiles, right? You might be getting a lot of work on research. You can work with CA firms or even big fours, but big fours don't generally prefer. I mean, the preference is definitely given to a postgraduate, but it's not a hard and fast rule. So as I previously talked about the eligibility criteria being specifically mentioned on the job description, so it's always there. The job description will particularly mention about what eligibility criteria is needed. So for example, if you want to work in Indian practice with an auditor, or let's say you want to be a part of the valuation team or a modeling team but with the Indian practice, yes, in my experience I have seen that ACCA, CA, CS, all of these professionals are preferred, but a lot of emphasis is also paid on your experience level. So you're free to apply to these companies if you're confident that if not as chartered accountant, I know that I'm just an MBA, but through my experience the company might be able to shortlist me. So always check the job description to see if you qualify for the job posting. Definitely apply if you qualify and if you think it best fits your role. Second, if you're a graduate, I will always ask you that why do you not intend to do a post graduation? Either you get a good placement from your graduation, get a good kickstart with a good brand, or let's say with a good package or with a good learning opportunity, spend a couple of years there, but eventually I will always suggest you do a postgraduate. Because in a world that we exist in at the moment, people are going beyond their post graduation. They are doing executive MBAs, they are even doing CFAs, and they are doing so many professional, in fact, globally renowned courses are being done by those students. So let's say you are being compared to a person who's a postgraduate applying for a same role, while you are a graduate coming from off campus. So when I talk of being placed from the campus, things are different, right? But if I talk of off campus, definitely try that. If you're not able to do a post graduation, let's say an MBA, then you must be having a 2-year diploma or a 2-year something that shows that you went beyond those basic skills of BCom and BA or BBA, and then you did something else to support what you've learned there. Because your education is definitely a true representation of your knowledge and your adaptability in the organization. So, well, I think specific answers can be dealt with later. PGs are again preferred in short, but experience also matters, is what I wanted to highlight here. Now is the most important part of the session, and the most important, I think, part you guys have waited for. How do we get started? How do we begin? Right? So, if you are a graduate again, do a lot of courses, but put them to the practical use. I have already answered questions on how do you get the internships. LinkedIn. an early start in your career through LinkedIn will always help you. If you have good number of connections, if you have a well updated Internshala profile. So Internshala is a platform that doesn't provide opportunities to a lot of experienced guys, right? Because the name itself is Internshala, so it provides internships. It's only for freshers. Try to get into something there, right? Any specific questions? I'll answer that. I know a lot of things are there in your mind at the moment. Okay, so graduate
काव्या
ho,
काव्या
focus on,
हाँ,
yeah,
मेरा एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है काव्या,
yeah, yeah.
आपको थोड़ा सा स्माइल ब्रेक देता हूँ मैं. So one of the questions that people ask is, and this is the most important ultimate question. So one sometime back, last few 2 3 months back, uh, people said, why don't we, across the grocery, there's so many people, they're doing internships at so many different places, why don't we connect those people? So I took the ownership of doing that, and I created a big Excel sheet where we had everybody, wherever they were doing internships, they wrote their details, whether it's paid or unpaid, or where exactly they're doing it, what has been their experience, and blah blah.
Mhm.
After a while, people stopped looking at it, and then everybody forgot it for 2 months, and now they're again asking, after having selective amnesia, they're having they're asking again, uh, uh, and now even if they're seeing the names and the experiences and where they can do it, they're saying, but how do I approach them? But how do I if I go to Culture Hire or the Sparks Foundation or there are thousands of places I can do internships from. How do you talk to them? What if they say no? Should I be asking for money? So this is a topic. This topic requires a whole class in itself someday.
Absolutely. I think, it comes out of your own fears and insecurities that you feel, how do I go approach them? They probably might have also approached those companies or other anybody to fetch that internship. So you got to do that hard work before you mention that, what do I do about it? Take that step. The max can happen is that the person won't respond. They will say no to you abruptly, but are they the only one in the world? No, right? As you mentioned, Arun, you've prepared a greater list of lists, right? So the reason there are so many people out there is that if one doesn't work, you always feel confident about yourself first and hop on to the next one and grab that opportunity. But if you feel discouraged from the very first, that's not the way to deal with it. I know we do take rejections very personally, right? That is a human tendency, but why don't we take our achievements personally then, to a point that they overpower our fears, they overpower our insecurities. And this is something you realize when something good happens with you, and something good only happens with an achievement. I also would like to support with that, but your achievements are a direct consequence of your hard work. So it then comes back to the fact that how hard did you work to make to get good scores, to fetch for an internship. Are you internship ready? If yes, why will people not help you? Tell me. If they are not helping you, are you approaching the right people? That's how I think I would like to take this. So I'll have this one-to-one conversation with anyone who says like that, because it's a very customizable thing that they have to understand. What works with one will definitely not work with the other person. I might be a person who likes making a lot of notes. While someone will say, Kya yaar, digital world hai. Why are you making notes? I like making notes that help me retain better. So make it. No, don't let people drive your perceptions in life or your career path. And this is one thing I think that lacks amongst us, that we feel so, we feel so ekdam se hum kisi ko itna importance dete hain that we let that person decide what we should do in our life. But I think the whole time I have only spoken about introspection. So it comes from within. You can't teach that to anyone. They'll have to learn to feel dejected. They have to learn to feel rejection and then get up again, face the world again. That is one trait of a human being we have been blessed with, that we can overcome challenges. But how do you do it? That comes with a lot of patience, right?
Kavya, my current challenge is I have to figure out where Zeros is in New Delhi, where you're eating the biggest ice cream ever in your YouTube video.
I'll give all those details. I think being a Delhiite, I have explored a few areas. So we will definitely catch up on that. And obviously, if some of these students also turn up and they are based out in Delhi, and I feel they're quite serious about learning, I really don't mind having a meet and greet where I'll treat you guys with everything you want, but I want to
Exactly.
see
Uh,
you booming out of the world like professionals. Yeah.
So, Kavya, maybe yeah, you may not have known this before, but a lot of places like Hyderabad, Bangalore, New Delhi, Lucknow, all have had their meetups. So they do. So there are city-wide COE groups which you are not a part of, but like if you be a part of Delhi group or Hyderabad group or Bangalore group, Chennai group or Nagpur group or Gujarat group, Premsa is the lead for Gujarat and he's also the national lead. So
Hmm.
these groups basically talk about just about anything. It can be, hey, I'm not able to find a flat. Hey, hey, let's talk about this.
Hmm.
So I would love for somebody like you to be a part of at least a Delhi group, to be able to
Definitely. Yeah.
energize and bring energy into that group. And
I
you can
will.
do virtual
Yeah.
meetups. You can do non-virtual meetups because Chennai Raghavan from Chennai is very extremely active. Sanjay, of course, is very active in Bengaluru. So they have physical meetups where there are people from 20 different companies they meet and talk about stuff, and it's like it's a free flow kind of a thing with a little bit
Hmm.
just a little bit of structure. But I would really I'll probably share some pictures from one of a lot of the meetups, but I'll connect you with Raghavan. And with that,
Sure,
I'm going
sure.
to keep quiet and let you do the talking on the get started part.
Yeah, I'll definitely love to join, and would also be happy to connect with our juniors and seniors here, because that's always a pleasure to meet in person and talk about our experiences. So looking forward for the same. And yeah, I think most of you are still here, not bored of the conversations we are happening. Just try and interact, everyone, right? So I think we are reaching the end of the presentation. Although I still have a lot to share, but I'll take it more as a question and answer, because that will
Sure.
solve a lot of questions. So I think I just had a couple of things more to mention on this slide. For the graduates, I'll come back, because for them, we do have just internship opportunities available. We have a lot of short courses they can do. I will not ask you guys, especially in graduation, to focus a lot on external elements like these, because if you have scored well in your graduation, if you have your concepts and your subject knowledge well, that is beyond doing an internship or beyond doing any course. However, an added advantage helps, but not at the cost of you compromising on your subjects. Not at all. Yes, at the time of post graduation, if you score a little less as well, but it is backed by a good experience, good professional certifications, it helps a lot. If particularly you are planning to do an MBA, take your SIP extremely seriously, because when I was interviewed for big four roles, or rather any interviews I have done post my MBA, I was always asked about my experience at SMC Global Securities, where I have done my SIP, right? So what you can do differently is, in those 2 to 3 months of your SIP that happens as a part of the college, where the pressure is less, where there are no exams, you're not supposed to uh, work for a 9 to 5 job. Rather, you are expected to just learn the practical of what you have learned so far. Try to go beyond just your internship and do some courses from, if not that organization, do it from Udemy. Try to get those queries from your courses solved from your mentor in the corporate world. So what I used to do is, as a part of my SMC Global Securities experience, I got in as a research analyst. I could understand that this requires me to prepare a equity research report, which means I needed a good understanding of the technical analysis, right? I needed to understand, if so I have done a deep research on FMCG sector. I might as well share that report with you. It's an old report, but it might help you people to understand the flow of a report. So I did it for FMCG, and I realized that I might need a bit of finance help, or maybe help of the finance mentor to help me navigate through the not the research part, but the financial numbers part. And internally within the organization, I reached out to the person who was a stock market head, who was the regional head for the trading, etc. He literally allowed me to be a part of the sessions, and Definitely, he would not give me a certificate or whatsoever, but he allowed me to attend those sessions where I can learn a lot of finance and, lot of technical subjects. And I could incorporate that as a part of my report. And my report, because it was an amalgamation of research as well, it was finance, it was coming from two different set of departments coming together. I got a PPO from SMC. I was really recognized, right? But it's not about me being recognized. It's about letting you people know that you have to always go beyond, not just in a job, but also in your internships. So be the best amongst the lot. And to be the best, you have to go and do something that others aren't doing. So it's as simple as, if everybody in the world, has started preparing for an interview when the resume gets shortlisted, you should be the one who starts their preparation 2 months prior to your resume being shortlisted. That is the approach I have followed throughout my life. So if I have my final examinations in the next 3 months, I'll not wait for those 3 months to get close. I'll start my preparation at the starting of the year, and repeat it so much or practice it so much that it doesn't even feel like it's an exam. And hence today, if I was asked to take this session, or let's say if tomorrow I have to interview for a very big MNC or a bank, or even start off something of my own, I feel confident. Why? Because I have dealt with situations which have come up immediately. So you should always be, always ready to kickstart anything immediately. And you will be able to take a session, you will be able to explain something, you will be able to help someone when you have your logics clear. The logic aspect should be absolutely clear. If I ask you, why is depreciation added back, you should know, okay, I know what is depreciation, but why is it added back? Have you ever questioned yourself, being a BCom? आपने बीकॉम में accountancy पढ़ी है. If I ask you that why is it a debit and not a credit, do you know? So these are the kind of questions I intend to answer for you guys. Okay? So you should always study hard, focus on the grades as a part of your academics. Once your academics are coming to an end, that is when you should be ready to kickstart on your corporate experience. Again, I have on my channel emphasized on a lot of importance on NISM certifications, on NCFM certifications. I will be talking about it now, right?